That's right, we have another retcon of the Dragon Balls in Dragon Ball Daima. Now, that's not the first time that's happened. We've had tons of retcons when it comes to how the Dragon Balls are used. This one's kind of funny. So Shenron says that's just a bonus for regulars. Unknown first-timers only get one wish. Which is interesting because Sorbet, specifically, most recently, in Resurrection F, resurrected Frieza with one wish, and then Shenron said he still had another wish remaining, to which Shu wished for 1,000,000 zennies. So I thought this was interesting and kind of funny that they chose to retcon this minor thing just for laughs. That's what I really love about this series. So Dragon Ball Daima Episode 2 absolutely nailed it when it came to the comedy. They really leaned heavily into the OG Dragon Ball feeling. And that's one of my favorite things about the opening. In the opening, they say, time to adventure, you'll be hooked for sure. And you go through like a nice shot of all of the Demon Realm villages and stuff. It looks really cool. And another thing is that previously in all the trailers, we've only seen Glorio and Pansy, but now they're really making it clear that Bulma will be here, as well as Piccolo and Vegeta. Now, the order in which they'll be coming is a little weird, so apparently Glorio, Supreme Kai, and Goku will be going first, and then the others will join soon after, but I think that's okay, just to kind of establish Goku in the Demon Realm, and then kind of slowly move Piccolo and Vegeta and Bulma into the mix. Now, you also have a look in the intro at the Guardians, the Tamagami, and they look pretty cool with their weapons and everything like that, and it looks like the Dragon Balls are literally built into them, so that's interesting. Now, this is a pretty big deal. So obviously we get Gomah, Degesu, and Dr. Arinsu, but if you look here in the back, you get a really cool look at Dabura and Abura. So it's a little weird how the Japanese works. I'm pretty sure when he's localized, they'll probably just call him Abra, maybe. And then a good look at Dabura here. So Dabura looks really cool. You can tell he definitely takes after his dad. But here's my question. Why would they model his dad, draw him out and everything, unless he has a role to play in Dragon Ball Daima? Now, you gotta remember, they have the Demon Dragon Balls, and I'm pretty sure a big plot point will be Goku and Co. going to try to use the Demon Dragon Balls to return to normal. But what if we have an Avengers Infinity War level plot twist, where the bad guys get the Dragon Balls and they resurrect Abra and Dabura? That could be really cool because, honestly, Gomah, he's supposed to be like the villain, but I don't think he is. I think this is just a theory, not any leaks or anything, but based off his personality, I'm assuming he's probably not the main villain. He's just more of a comedic character. And then here comes a new story with a good look at Goku on the Nimbus. I'm going to get into in this review something that I thought was kind of silly, that it was played for a joke, but I did not appreciate the joke. It was kind of mean-spirited, but it was cool seeing Goku on the Nimbus in the opening. Thousands of jabs and silly jokes. Another thing the opening talks about, which I really love, and I didn't even mention that yet. This episode has the opening, and I really enjoy the opening. Like, it's beautifully animated. You get good shots of adult Goku, so if you miss adult Goku throughout the series, you can at least watch the opening, and there he is. And then here's a nice shot of all of our main party. So just to establish, it looks like they wanted to make it clear. Here are the 3 characters that are joining Goku initially once he goes to the Demon Realm. So Supreme Kai, Pansy, and Glorio. And then you have Piccolo, Vegeta, and Bulma. Everything looks cool, especially this shot of Degesu and Dr. Arinsu. So the 3 siblings here. This is absolutely gorgeously drawn. Another thing I want to mention here is we actually see Vegeta as a Super Saiyan in the opening. So, we saw Goku as a Super Saiyan. There you go, Vegeta as a Super Saiyan as well. Pretty cool stuff. Now, this is why I say Gomah doesn't strike me as a super evil guy, because he realizes that they could take away Earth's Dragon Balls by simply killing Dende. But look at this baby. Look at Dende, he's just a baby. Now, the wish did say to turn all the kids into babies. I guess you could say Dende at this point is probably a teenager, since this is about 1 year after the Buu saga. And Dende was a similar age to Gohan. And Gohan in the Buu saga, there's some discrepancy about his age. Some say 17, some say 16. So, I guess you could say that Dende is probably 17, so he got turned into a baby. But they also depicted him as kind of child-looking in the first episode. But anyway, he's a baby here. Degesu kind of takes him from Mr. Popo, who is a demon with horns. And, you know, Degusu just kind of blows Mr. Popo away. But what I found interesting was Gomah knew he needed to kill Dende, but didn't. So I think that's very interesting. Kind of makes me think he is a little bit of a sensitive guy at heart. You know, like he's not purely evil like he wants to be. And then another interesting thing about the wish is it turns them into children, but mentally they are still the same age. You're on a watch list. So basically what happened is you got baby Goten and baby Trunks, but mentally they are still their age. Same thing with Vegeta, Bulma, Piccolo, everybody like that. So even though they're babies and they should be thinking on the level of a baby, they make it clear, Trunks, you turned into a baby. They are thinking to themselves, so that's interesting. And also another interesting thing that I found really funny, normally Master Roshi's comedy goes a little bit over the top for me in some areas, but this episode kind of delivered it at a more appropriate level, I guess you could say. So he's a kid, so he feels like very youthful and exuberant and ready to go, and he's like really psyched about no longer being just an old man. It was pretty funny. And then here we go with some new information about the Namekians. Long ago, he was the legendary Namekian who remained in the Demon Realm alone to guard the Demon Dragon Balls. And of course, he's talking about Neva or Neba. There's apparently a little bit of a translation issue. Some people aren't exactly sure if it's supposed to be Neba or Neva. Apparently, the Crunchyroll subtitles aren't the most reliable. But yeah, so Neva is like the lone Namekian in the Demon Realm, and they all fled from the Demon Realm a long time ago, Piccolo says, because they do not like to be controlled. Now, Piccolo himself does not remember what the Demon Realm was like, but maybe the nameless Namekian that Piccolo split from does. Although, I guess he is the nameless Namekian, that's right, because he already combined with Kami at this point, so he obviously doesn't know. So anyway, let's go on with this. I thought this was interesting. So Supreme Kai and Kibito make it clear that they have a spaceship, and Supreme Kai says he came to this universe in this spaceship a long time ago. I'm not exactly sure when that would be, maybe whenever he was born from the tree, which that lore hasn't made its way into the show yet, but I'm pretty sure it will be. And then they have Kibito basically confirming Vegeta and Bulma. So Bulma's going to be here to repair the ship, and they talk about how the ship was kind of in a very bad state. And then we got this really good flashback of Goku fighting Majin Buu, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, they make it clear that the spaceship was destroyed because of the fight that Goku and Vegeta had with Buu. And this is when we get another lore drop. All the pointed-eared characters that we learned in Episode 1, all the pointed-eared characters are demons. Now they make it clear, most are, but some aren't. So just because you see a character in Dragon Ball and they have long pointy ears, that does not automatically mean that they're demons, which makes sense. You have a lot of characters in Dragon Ball that have pointy ears, but they're not going to be demons. That's, like I said, that makes sense. And only those who are granted permission can travel to and from the Demon Realm. So this is an interesting point that I wanted to get to because of Glorio. So Glorio comes here because of the king of the third Demon Realm planet. I think they said world. So that's interesting. I'll get into that as we go. Now, this was the joke that I kind of took offense to. Now, I'm not like up in arms about this and like, oh my god, I can't believe you done this. Obviously, Akira Toriyama was deeply involved with this. He wrote a lot of this, I'm sure. So this is coming from Toriyama himself. And I definitely appreciate the joke, but what I don't appreciate is being told that the flying Nimbus is around and Goku's not going to fly on it. Come on, Goku, you already have your Noibo, you already have your Power Pole. Why are you not wanting to get on the flying Nimbus? So I had a little bit of a problem with him not wanting Kinto-un, and he just kind of like says, oh no, I'm fine, but maybe at least include a cameo of Kinto-un, you know? So, and then here we have the Power Pole at Master Roshi's being used for laundry. I thought that was pretty funny. And the reason why Goku actually needs the Power Pole is because he's so short and he's so not used to his body that he's not able to fly straight. He's not able to fight properly. So he's decided to use the Power Pole to kind of counteract his imbalance with his fighting. So that's an interesting way to nerf Goku even more. So not only is he depowered, but his skills aren't what they used to be because he's no longer an adult. He's been suddenly reverted to a kid. Now, if you look at OG Dragon Ball, he's a great fighter as a kid. But keep in mind, he spent like his years growing up and getting used to his body as he's changed. So to suddenly revert to a child, that's got to take something out of you in terms of your skills. So this makes sense that he's using the Power Pole to kind of counteract his nerfing, if you will. And then another joke that I wanted to mention that I thought was pretty funny is Kibito is obviously like constantly like teleporting to and from the locations for Bulma, and then she suggests, hey Kibito, this would have been easier if you just took me to Capsule Corporation and I could repair your ship here. And then Kibito's like, you're mistaking me for some kind of delivery boy. I just thought it was funny and wanted to mention it here. And then he says Namekians don't like to be ruled, about why the Namekians left the Demon Realm in the first place. And now here's the interesting thing, like I mentioned, an evil Majin became king after Supreme Demon King Dabura's death. So in the last episode, they didn't make it clear what Gomah was to Dabura, why he felt like he was next in line to be the Demon King. I think this is basically implying that there isn't really anything in place for him to become the next Demon King. He just kind of decides he's going to be the next Demon King. And they do specifically say Supreme Demon King, so this does go in line with what Glorio already said about being sent by the king of the third Demon Realm or Demon World. So there are multiple kings in the Demon Realm, and the Supreme Demon King, I assume, rules them all. And then Vegeta's like, alright, take me with you and I'll go. And then Glorio's like, actually, this ship only fits 3 people. Me, Supreme Kai, and Goku. And they obviously want Goku because he was the one that was fighting Boo and really landed the finishing blow on Boo. So yeah, also there's like kind of a trust issue thing that Supreme Kai has with Glorio, which I guess makes sense. And then we end with this pretty cool shot of Goku looking out into the sky. And we don't get a look at the Demon Realm, but the preview does show the Demon Realm. And also, this is the first time we get a look at the ending, and it's pretty cool because you can actually see what I assume is the realm that has the Namekian land, their homeland here. So obviously you have the very tall Namekian trees, and obviously the buildings are very Namekian styled, so they are definitely showing the homeland of the Namekians. And we also have a good shot of the main party here, so just in case you were kind of confused, thinking, oh no, they're just going to do a red herring type of thing and not have Vegeta and Piccolo join the crew. Here they are, Vegeta and Piccolo, and it looks like that's the last slide I wanted to mention. So, what did I think of the episode overall? I would give this one a 7 out of 10. The first episode was an 8 out of 10. This one I say is a 7 out of 10, not to say it's bad. Basically, a 7 to me is good. Now, they definitely have a lot of lore in this episode, like the Namekians, and they go a little bit more into the demons. You also get some more character moments, like Gomah. Why is he not slaying Dende? He's a little bit interesting. So they're implying that Gomah is this great threat that they need to defeat. But he's also not so evil that he's going to kill Dende as a baby. So I thought that was interesting here. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention was Supreme Kai is kind of the GOAT. He wants to specifically go to the Demon Realm because he has knowledge of it, and he wants to stop his brother. So obviously if his brother's the one that's involved in all of this, he's kind of taking responsibility for that, so I think that's interesting. Another thing I didn't mention is Dr. Arinsu was nowhere to be seen in this episode. This episode definitely focused more on the heroes, and I'm left wondering, where is Dr. Arinsu during all of this? Is she plotting more? Maybe she is. Maybe she's somehow involved with all of this scheming behind the scenes. Maybe she sent Glorio. Maybe she's in control of the king of the third Demon Realm. Who knows? So I'm very interested in meeting Pansy, maybe next episode, maybe not. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the episode. I gotta say, it was a pretty solid episode, like I said. It was, I think some people are gonna have a problem that we haven't really gotten to a lot of big action stuff yet. But you gotta remember, in Dragon Ball Super, I mean, obviously nobody likes, I mean, some people probably like it, but in Dragon Ball Super, we have Battle of Gods and Resurrection F for the first 2 arcs. This is all new content. And one of my favorite things about Dragon Ball Super is it starts off with an episode about Goku and like the world after Majin Buu and all that stuff. And the second episode is Vegeta taking Trunks to a park, you know, or like a resort type of situation. So I like that this is actually not trying to take some time to do any filler. They're just really establishing a lot of the lore and a lot of the canon, and they're going very deep into the story, which I think is really cool how they're leaning into more of the comedy and the story of Dragon Ball. That's what I meant at the beginning. This is less of DBZ and more of Dragon Ball, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, that'll be it for this video. What did you think of Dragon Ball Daima Episode 2? Did you enjoy it? I know I did. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace off.